There comes a time in life when everything seems stacked against you. The world says you can't, the enemy whispers doubt into your ears, and the obstacles in your path seem immovable. But here's what they don't understand: when God moves, no one can stop him. Have you ever faced a situation where all doors were shut, where betrayal, pain, and struggle made it seem impossible to move forward? And then just when you thought it was over, God stepped in and made a way out of no way. That's because when God decides to act, no force in heaven, earth, or hell can stand against him. Today, I'm going to share a powerful story that proves this truth, followed by 10 undeniable signs that God is moving in your life right now. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just change your life forever. Imagine standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Behind you, an army of enemies closing in, ready to destroy you. Before you, in an endless body of water with no way across. You can hear the cries of your people, the fear in their voices. You feel trapped. This was the reality for Moses and the Israelites. They had just escaped slavery in Egypt, but now Pharaoh's army was chasing them with full force. There was no escape, no plan, no hope. But then something happened. Moses raised his staff, and with one command from God, the waters parted. A dry path appeared in the middle of the sea. The Israelites walked through safely, but when the enemy followed, the waters came crashing down, wiping them out completely. When God moves, nothing and no one can stop him. What seemed impossible became a miracle. What looked like a dead end became a doorway to victory. And just like he did for Moses, God can do the same in your life. Here are 10 undeniable signs that God is moving in your situation right now. There comes a time in life when everything seems stacked against you. The world says you can't. The enemy whispers doubt into your ears, and the obstacles in your path seem immovable. But here's what they don't understand: when God moves, no one can stop him. Have you ever faced a situation where all doors were shut, where betrayal, pain, and struggle made it seem impossible to move forward? And then just when you thought it was over, God stepped in and made a way out of no way. That's because when God decides to act, no force in heaven, earth, or hell can stand against him. Today, I'm going to share a powerful story that proves this truth, followed by 10 undeniable signs that God is moving in your life right now. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just change your life forever. Imagine standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Behind you, an army of enemies closing in, ready to destroy you. Before you, an endless body of water with no way across. You can hear the cries of your people, the fear in their voices. You feel trapped. This was the reality for Moses and the Israelites. They had just escaped slavery in Egypt, but now Pharaoh's chasing them with full force. There was no escape, no plan, no hope. But then something happened. Moses raised his staff, and with one command from God, the waters parted. A dry path appeared in the middle of the sea. The Israelites walked through safely, but when the enemy followed, the waters came crashing down, wiping them out completely. When God moves, nothing and no one can stop him. What seemed impossible became a miracle. What looked like a dead end became a doorway to victory. And just like he did for Moses, God can do the same in your life. Here are 10 undeniable signs that God is moving in your situation right now. When God moves, doors that once seemed permanently shut suddenly swing wide open. Opportunities that you never expected begin to appear before you. The same people who ignored you, doubted you, and looked down on you will have no choice but to recognize the power of God working in your life. What seemed impossible just a short time ago becomes your new reality. No man, no enemy, and no circumstance can block the blessing that God has prepared for you. You may have been rejected before. You may have heard no so many times that you started to believe you weren't good enough. But when God steps in, no rejection can stand against his approval. He doesn't need permission to bless you. He doesn't need human validation to open doors for you. He is the ultimate authority, and when he decides it's your time, no force in heaven or earth can stop it. Joseph was forgotten in prison for years. He was betrayed, falsely accused, and abandoned. But when God moved, he was elevated from a prisoner to the second most powerful man in Egypt overnight. That's how God works when the right time comes. He doesn't just open small doors. He shatters limitations and takes you to levels you never imagined. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to manipulate situations or chase after people for validation. When God is in control, He makes a way where there is no way. He will connect you with the right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments at the perfect time. What is meant for you will not pass you by when God is the one moving. Maybe you've been struggling for years, knocking on doors that never open, applying for jobs that never respond, chasing dreams that always seem just out of reach. But hear this, when God moves, delay is no longer a factor. What once took years can happen in an instant. The waiting season will suddenly turn into a season of acceleration. People will wonder how you got the opportunity, how the breakthrough came, how you suddenly stepped into success. But they won't understand that it wasn't by luck, connections, or hard work alone. It was God's divine favor that made it happen. No enemy can stop the favor of God. No opposition can cancel His plans. Even when others try to block you, lie about you, or work against you, God will make sure His purpose prevails. He will place you in positions you never expected and make your name known in places you've never set foot in. You will know it's God because the doors that open won't make sense. It won't be by your strength, but by His supernatural power. People will question, but you will know this was God. The same places where you were once rejected will now welcome you with open arms. The same voices that doubted you will be forced to acknowledge that God's hand is on your life. So don't be discouraged by delays. Don't let rejection make you doubt your worth. What's coming is bigger than what you lost. What God has prepared is greater than what you've been praying for. When He moves, no one can stop Him. Keep your faith, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Even when everything around you is falling apart, there is a peace that cannot be explained, a calmness that goes beyond human understanding. This is not an ordinary peace, it is a supernatural assurance that only comes from God. When He moves in your life, fear begins to fade and anxiety loses its grip. You may still be facing challenges, but deep inside, you just know everything is going to be all right. People around you may wonder how you're staying so calm when your circumstances should be causing panic. The storm is raging, the pressure is increasing, and yet you are unshaken. That's because when God is in control, you no longer have to worry about the outcome. You know He has already made a way, even if you can't see it yet. Think about Jesus in the boat with His disciples. The storm was fierce, waves crashing against them, and the disciples were terrified. But what was Jesus doing? Sleeping. Not because He didn't care, but because He knew that nothing could stop God's plan. The storm had no power over Him. And when He woke up with just one command, "Peace, be still," the storm obeyed. That same power is at work in your life. When God moves, He doesn't just change your situation, He changes you. He gives you the ability to walk through the fire without being burned. He allows you to face battles without fear. His presence silences every doubt and gives you an unshakable confidence that no matter what happens, you are safe in His hands. This kind of peace cannot be found in money, success, or people. It doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from knowing that even if the world turns against you, even if everything around you crumbles, God is still in control. And if He is for you, who can be against you? So don't let your circumstances dictate your peace. Don't allow the storms of life to steal your joy. God is working behind the scenes, and when He moves, no force in hell can stop Him. Keep your faith, hold on to His promises, and rest in the peace that only He can give. Because when God moves, peace follows. There comes a time in life when people begin to walk away without warning. Friends you once trusted suddenly grow distant. Relationships that felt unbreakable start to fall apart. It may feel painful at first, like you are losing something important. But what if I told you that this is not a loss, it's a move of God? When God is preparing you for something greater, He removes people who no longer align with His plan for your life. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Some people were only placed in your life for a season, and when that season is over, God allows them to drift away. You may not understand it at first. You may wonder why someone you cared for is no longer part of your journey. But trust this, God sees what you cannot see. He knows the hearts of people. He knows who truly supports you and who is secretly holding you back. There are people in your life who are blocking your blessings. They may seem like friends, but their presence is slowing you down. their negativity, their lack of faith, their hidden jealousy. God sees it all. And because He loves you, He will remove them before they can destroy what He is building in you. It won't always be easy. Sometimes God will take away people you never expected to lose. You will question why it happened, and it may even break your heart. But later you will look back and realize it was necessary. What you thought was rejection was actually God's protection. What felt like betrayal was really God's redirection. When God moves, He doesn't just add to your life, He also subtracts. He prunes away the distractions, the wrong influences, and the relationships that no longer serve His purpose. He removes those who don't genuinely care for you, making room for the right people to enter your life. So if you're in a season where people are walking away, don't chase them. Don't beg anyone to stay. If God allowed them to leave, it means their part in your story is over. The people who are meant to be in your life will stay, and those who aren't will fade away. Let God do His work. Trust His plan. What He is preparing for you is far greater than anything you had to let go of. Because when God moves, no one can stop Him, not even the ones who walked away. Even when everything around you is falling apart, when life seems uncertain and the storm rages on, there's a peace that doesn't make sense, a peace that goes beyond human understanding. This is not a peace that comes from comfort, money, or an easy life. This is the kind of peace that comes only from God. When He moves, He calms the storm within you before He calms the storm around you. You may be facing battles that feel overwhelming, problems that should be stealing your joy, situations that should be breaking you down. Yet somehow you are still standing. You are still moving forward. Not because the struggle isn't real, but because God's presence is greater than the struggle. People may look at you and wonder, how are you not worried? How are you not panicking? They don't understand that when God is in control, you don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to trust that He does. There was a time when David was running for his life, hiding in caves with enemies surrounding him. Everything in his life seemed to be falling apart. He had every reason to live in fear, but instead he declared, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." He understood something powerful. True peace is not the absence of trouble. True peace is knowing that God is with you in the trouble. Maybe right now you are walking through a storm of uncertainty. Maybe the weight of the world feels heavy on your shoulders. But hear this, God has not left you. He has not forgotten you. And when He moves, no situation, no enemy, no hardship can shake what He has placed inside you. You will know it's God because despite the chaos, you will feel unshaken. You will face rejection but not feel discouraged. You will walk through uncertainty but still feel confident. Because God's peace is not based on what is happening around you. It is based on who is inside you. So don't be afraid. Don't let fear steal your faith. When God moves, nothing can stop Him. And when His presence fills your life, peace follows. A peace so strong that even in the middle of the storm, you will smile because you know God is in control. Even when everything around you is falling apart, when uncertainty tries to shake your faith, there is a supernatural peace that can only come from God. This peace is not based on circumstances, not based on things going right, but on the unshakable truth that God is in control. People may look at your life and see chaos. They may wonder how you are still standing, how you are not overwhelmed by fear. But what they don't understand is that God's presence brings a peace that defies logic. It is the kind of peace that allows you to walk through fire and not be burned, to face storms and not be shaken, to stand in the middle of uncertainty and still declare, "It is well with my soul." This is the peace that Jesus had when He slept through the storm while His disciples panicked. The winds were roaring, the waves were crashing, but Jesus was at rest. Why? Because He knew the storm had no power over Him. He knew that the one who controls the universe was still in control, even in the middle of the chaos. And that is the peace God gives you when He moves in your life. The kind of peace that makes no sense. The kind of peace that allows you to smile even when everything looks uncertain. The kind of peace that strengthens you when you should be weak. It is not a peace the world can give. It is not a peace that comes from success, money, or people. Those things can disappear, but God's presence never leaves you. And when you stay close to Him, He will give you clarity, wisdom, and a stillness that nothing in this world can shake. So when life gets chaotic, when fear tries to creep in, remember this: God is bigger than the storm. His peace is greater than your problems. And no matter what happens around you, if He is with you, nothing can take away the peace He has placed inside you.